This here is a camera monitor, but it's not just a camera monitor, it's also a wireless transmitter and receiver. With this plugged into your camera, you can connect up to 4 mobile devices as extra monitors and do a whole bunch of other cool things that I'll be showing you in this video. It's the Hollyland Mars M1, and when first taking this monitor out of the box, I really noticed how well built it is. It's made from a combination of plastic and metal, but the plastic is more of a quality plastic and not the cheap kind of plastic you sometimes get. So the monitor feels very solid and durable and like it could take a punch. It's a 5.5-inch HD touch LCD screen, which is pretty standard for these types of monitors. Hollyland says it also undergoes professional color calibration during the manufacturing process, so that should guarantee accurate and true-to-life colors. On one side of the monitor, you'll find an HDMI input and output capable of handling signals of up to 4K 30p. On the other side, there's a standard 1/4-inch mounting point, a USB-C port for loading LUTs or new firmware onto the device, and a headphone jack. On the bottom, there's another standard 1/4-inch mounting point. On the back, there is an SDI socket, the battery slot for Sony NPF style batteries, DC power in and out, and the on-off button. Lastly, located on the top of the monitor, you'll notice the antennas, which are not only compact but also remarkably sturdy. A lot of times with wireless devices, you have these long, thin types of antennas, which always feel like they would break off very easily when you put the device in your bag the wrong way or anything like that. But no such worries with these robust little antennas, and if you want, you could still unscrew and remove them. The Mars M1 has a lot of great functions, and I found it really easy to use. Once you insert a battery and connect it to your camera, a simple press on the power button brings the monitor to life. On the bottom of the screen, you can see a scroll bar with all the different tools, and there are quite a few available on this Hollyland monitor. For example, the histogram, exposure zebras, focus peaking, false color, magnification, and so on. But also other things like anamorphic D-squeeze, or for example frame guides, which can be very useful when you are shooting something horizontally that would be repurposed vertically. That way you can instantly check your framing for both. When you tap and hold one of the tools, you can easily arrange and position the tool on the screen to suit your preference. The Mars M1 comes with 5 LUTs loaded onto the monitor, but you can also load up to 5 of your own .cube LUTs. This is of course great so that you're able to see what the final post-grading image will look like. Okay, so now that we've established that this is a pretty good quality, well-built monitor with a lot of nice and handy functions, let's talk about what makes this monitor unique. Because like I said, it's not just an ordinary monitor, it's also a wireless video transmitter and receiver. When you have a Mars M1 monitor attached to your camera, you can send a wireless HD video signal from that Mars M1 unit to a second Mars M1 unit. That one is, for example, being used by the director or the producer. And you can even add a third Mars M1 monitor to this setup, which would also be receiving the same wireless HD video signal. And this one could be used by, for example, a focus puller. All of them can display the different tools on the screen, but they don't need to all display the same tools. So each monitor can display the different tools independently, allowing everyone to have their preferred tool available. So one could have a rule of thirds grid, the other one focus peaking, and the other one false color. Now, of course, this would be a very costly setup with 3 of these monitors, and that's definitely not suitable for everyone's budget. So luckily, Hollyland also has a mobile app, which will transform your phone or any other mobile device like a tablet into a receiver. You can have up to 4 mobile devices receive a video signal from one Mars M1 monitor. And the cool thing is that the app has pretty much all the functions and tools you have available on the monitor. Besides that, you can even take screenshots that will be saved to your phone's camera roll, and you can record the video signal. I think the app transmission is probably one of the best and most usable things about this monitor. It's great when you want to include clients or other team members in the viewing process. With one Mars M1 unit connected to your camera, you could then have an iPad or even your client's or team member's own phone where they would be able to watch along without them having to breathe over your shoulder trying to get a peek of your monitor. But let me share another application of this setup which I personally see myself using more often. As a frequent self-filmmaker for my YouTube channel, I often find myself in situations where my camera is positioned too far away for me to monitor my shots effectively. However, with the Hollyland app, I can use my phone as a secondary screen and keep an eye on my composition. And unlike other apps, such as for example the Sony imaging app, the Hollyland setup offers all the handy tools for these kinds of situations, like focus peaking or exposure checking. Now, according to Hollyland, the Mars M1 can do all of this wireless video transmitting at a range of up to 150 meters and with a latency of 0.08 seconds. And that sounds pretty amazing, right? So let's give that a test and see if we can actually get that range of 150 meters. Okay, so I have the monitor set up on the camera, and that is wirely transmitting the video signal to my phone here. And I marked a point at about 150 meters away from here. It's to that tree in the back there. So I'm going to walk to that point and we're going to see what happens to the image. We still have signal. Almost at the tree, and we still have signal. All right, so I'm at the tree. We still have connection. I'm gonna walk past the tree and yeah, okay. So basically right at the 150 meter mark, it's having trouble connecting. Let's see if I turn around, because obviously when we have a line of sight, it might connect again. Yep, so it's trying to connect again. I didn't move, I just turned around so it has the line of sight and it's connected again. But basically we're here at the tree and we made the 150 meters. So that's pretty impressive. Now let's be honest, there are little to no situations that I can think of where you would need to be more than 150 meters away from your camera. So far it seems like this might be the perfect monitor. However, there are a few things that I wish Hollyland would have improved, and one of them is the screen's brightness. The Mars M1 only has 1000 nits, and a lot of recent monitors are more towards 1500 to 2000 nits, so those would be a lot more ideal in very bright sunlight conditions. Now 1000 nits isn't terrible, and in most situations it will be perfectly fine, but if you do find yourself shooting in a lot of bright sunlight conditions, you could still consider getting the optional sun hood. A second thing that I found a little unfortunate and a bit odd as well is when using the exposure zebras. You can use this slider to adjust the zebras from 0 to 100, but the problem is that it doesn't show you the actual value. So if you want to set this at a certain exact value, you would just have to kind of guess where that is. If you're using false color to check your exposure, of course the zebra thing isn't a problem. One other thing I want to mention is that this monitor has a built-in fan and it can get a little bit noisy. So if you're filming with a shotgun mic on your camera, it could possibly pick up some of that noise. But luckily you have the option to turn off the fan, and honestly I haven't noticed any issues using the monitor with the fan turned off. So not really a negative, just something to be aware of. Okay, so at 550 US or about 600 euros, this monitor offers a lot of versatility and usability within a single device. Whether you're working with a larger crew, catering to clients, or simply self-filming, the Hollyland Mars M1 is probably going to be the best bang for your buck. Alright, that's it for me. I hope I was able to shed some light on this cool little monitor and its interesting features. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!